distinguished guests, graduates and diplomats of the University of Chichester, I call upon Student Union Vice President Hermione Jane Boyce.
It's a huge honour to stand here today as the Vice President of the University of Chichester's Students' Union at this incredibly significant moment in your lives. Today marks the culmination of years of dedication and hard work. You've met the deadlines, you adapted to change, and you continue to show up, not only for your education, but for yourselves and for one another. You've balanced lectures with part-time jobs, coursework with society meetings, and study with memories that'll last a lifetime. This moment is a celebration of perseverance, adaptability, and growth. It reflects the knowledge you've gained, the values you've shaped, and the resilience you've built along the way. In a world that is constantly evolving, your ability to learn, to question, and to rise to challenge is something you should be truly proud of. Graduation is not only the end of a chapter defined by learning, but also the beginning of something new, a moment to step forward. As you sit here today, it might feel like standing on the edge of a cliff leading to the next adventure. Some of you will be ready to dive head first, some of you will want a moment to think, and some of you need a bit more time before you jump. As you move on from this next chapter, whatever that might be, I hope you take with you the values and the confidence you've gained here. You leave not only as graduates, but as critical thinkers, leaders, creators, researchers, collaborators, and advocates. Now's your time to fly, and I hope you make an impact wherever you go. I'd also like to take a moment to thank the families, friends, academic staff, and professional teams who've supported our graduates on their journey. No graduate reaches this moment alone. Behind every success story are the people who offered support along the way. To the loved ones, thank you for being a steady source of reassurance, celebration, and belief, even during the most challenging of moments. To the academic and professional staff, your passion and commitment to excellence have helped shape not only minds but futures. And to the student support teams, student union staff, and everyone who works behind the scenes, your care, commitment, and dedication have shaped this journey. I've firsthand seen the determination, creativity, and perseverance that runs through your cohort. Some of you I know, and some of you I've supported personally. Each of you have faced challenges, whether it's been academic or personal, whether they've been loud and visible or quiet and known only to you. You showed up on the hard days and you pushed through when motivation was low, and that perseverance is something you should be truly proud of. This ceremony isn't only about your academic success, it's about how far you've come. You've earned this moment. Whether navigating academic pressure, personal setbacks, changing circumstances, or just this unpredictable world, you've shown an unwavering commitment to your goals. You adapted, you persevered, and you continued to move forward, even when it wasn't easy. I want you to take a moment to be proud of not only yourselves, but your peers, and how much collectively you've overcome to be here today. On behalf of the entire Students' Union, I want to say how proud we are of every single one of you. Each of you has added something special to this community. Whether you were a hardcore wishy ranger or an academic weapon, every single one of you has shown up and shaped our student community into something vibrant, bold, and beautiful. Wherever you go from here, whether that's to work, to travel, to change the world, or take time to work life out, know that you are more than ready. You are not the same person who arrived on their first day. You are stronger, more resilient, more confident, and you will always be a graduate of the University of Chichester. This is not the end of your journey, but the beginning of endless possibilities. Distinguished guests, graduands, and diplomats of the University of Chichester, I call upon Professor Simeon Dagkas to give his opening remarks.
Good morning, everyone. It is my great pleasure as the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Chichester to welcome you to this graduation ceremony in the beautiful setting of the cathedral here at Chichester. I would like to begin by acknowledging some very special guests whose presence makes today even more meaningful. We're honored to be joined by the Chair of Governors, Dr. Tim Fuchs, and other representatives of our Board of Governors. I would like also to extend a warm welcome to our Honorary graduate, David Sedaris, who today receives an Honorary Doctor of Literature in recognition of his outstanding contribution to the literary world. Thank you all for being here to celebrate this important occasion with us. Graduates, on behalf of the entire University of Chichester community, I would like to welcome you to this graduation ceremony. Today is all about you. Recognizing your achievements and celebrating just how far you have come. It is a delight to see this cathedral filled with those who have supported you throughout your time with us. Your families, your friends, and loved ones. They have been here with you through this journey, an integral part of this journey, and I'm delighted they can be here today. Our mission at the University of Chichester has been not only to develop your academic skills and understanding, but to help you realize your full potential. Whether you are destined for careers in the classroom, the West End, the boardroom, the sports, the NHS, your education will have given you a passion for discovery and a very practical sense of how your learning can benefit others in society. You have been part of an environment where everyone feels safe to experiment and to explore, an atmosphere that brings out the best in you and your peers. And it doesn't stop here. We do hope that your qualification is a source of enormous pride. You're graduating from a university that was placed 6th in the entire country for teaching quality in the National Student Survey, a survey that you complete there at the back. And thank you very much for that. From a university that has made the most significant climb in the Complete University Guide, and from the Daily Mail's University of the Year for Teaching Excellence. And only last Saturday, a university that was placed top 8 in the country in the Guardian Universities League table. But perhaps more importantly, you're graduating from a university that's dedicated to cultivating talent and potential wherever it is found. Our Adversity to University program, and some of our colleagues are actually here today that lead this program, has attracted national attention and a significant donation for the way it opened doors for those individuals who have historically been excluded from higher education, but also from society. Our community's strength and vibrancy lies in its diversity. Your commitment, perseverance, and hard work has led to an academic qualification that sets you apart. Alongside the knowledge and skills you've developed, you have broadened your perspective and strengthened your character in countless ways. It is this, along with your friendships that you have made, that will ensure you thrive and as you embark on the next stage of your career. You will always belong to the unique community that is the University of Chichester. And as you go out in the world, you should know that we will be cheering you on at every step of the way. You need to take a moment today to recognize how far you have come and actually to congratulate yourselves on everything you have achieved so far. Although it may feel like an important chapter is closing, this is actually just the beginning. And I and we couldn't be more excited for you. And in the formal part now, through the authority given to the university by the Privy Council and the power vested in me as a Vice-Chancellor by the academic board of this university, I now declare this ceremony open. Thank you. I would like to invite Dr. Tim Fuchs to confirm the student awards.
Chair of Governors, as head of the School of, Chair of Governors, as Executive Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences and Humanities, I present to you the candidates who have been awarded the Bachelor of Arts in Creative Writing and English, Creative Writing and Philosophy and Ethics, Creative Writing and Screenwriting, English Literature, History, Medieval and Early Modern History, Modern History, Philosophy and Ethics, Politics and Contemporary History, Politics and International Relations, Politics and Philosophy and Ethics, Social Worker Degree Apprentice, Sociology, Sociology with Criminology, Theology. Kylo Judd. The recipient of William Northern Prize. Please. Yes. Again, the recipient of William Northern Prize, Kylo Judd. Alexander Biest. Sierra Hubbard. Freya Skelton. Benjamin Keating. Christian Pereira. Jack Leonard. Emma Baldwin. Zach Fennessy. Emily Tomlins. Matthew West. Ashley Caitlin Olivier. Sam Cook. Casey Reston. Robin Jardine. Lucy Matthew. Sean Lynch. Kira Ginane. Tegan Pierce. Daisy Hunt. The recipient of the Stuart Finney Prize and the recipient of the William Norton Prize, Jelani Pratt. Maisie Connery. Erin Shields. Naomi Kerslake. Helena Sedlmayer. Emma Jane Wright. Chloe Cheatham. Glenn McCulloch. Lily Richards. Melissa Brissom. Kim Farmer. Caitlin O'Gorman. Caitlin Grace. Harvey Graham. Faith Hoban. Katie Hutchings. Brooke Turner. Sophia May Tucker. Scarlett Medzavorian. Amber Cape. Isabel Kirk Holmes. Megan Reeves. Daisy Maisie Beard. Aoife Cragg. Meg Hare. Ruby Wild. The recipient of Hugo Donnelly Literary History Prize, Christopher Barry. Holly Bickerstaff. Toby Kay. Aaron Grinstead. The recipient of the Christine Knott Prize, Dominic Graham Merrington. Evie Chappelle. Morgan Cornish. Michaela de Castro. Grace Edgerton. Preeti Danjal. Amelia Clark. Mateus Mesgebo. Charlotte Bone. Lorne Toms. Oliver Middleton. Matthew Hardman. Hebe Penn Clark. Dan Legg. The recipient of the Ruth Gallagher Dissertation Prize, Jamie Hardman. Emma Bennett. Nicole Koromanska. Lou Valler. Charlie Harding. Alicia Warren. Hannah Bradbury. Emma Thomas. Hillary May. Caitlin Cornell. Kaylin Kuhoopt. Maisie Kithakie. Leah Besser. Chloe Kay. Emma Scott Wildman. That concludes the presentation of the Bachelor of Arts. Chair of Governors, as Executive Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences and Humanities, I present to you the candidates who have been awarded the Bachelor of Science in Politics. Chair of Governors, as Executive Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences and Humanities, I present to you the candidates who have been awarded the Master of Arts in Creative Writing. Justine Richardson. Joanne Mallon. Emma Stanishev. David Smith. Monique Huggett. That concludes the presentation of the Master of Arts. Chair of Governors, as Executive Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences and Humanities, I present to you the candidates who have been awarded the Doctor of Philosophy. With a thesis titled Spaces, Places, People and Processes, the factors affecting the reception of outsider art within the UK mainstream art world, Kate Davey. With the thesis titled, It's a Subject of Our Age, Unperturbedness in Iris Murdoch's Fiction, Rita Maria Peacock. With the thesis titled, Alliances and Experimentation in the British Army During the First World War, the Development of the British Messenger Dog Service, Emma Worrell. With the thesis titled, The British State and the Refugee Crisis of 1933-1950, Liberal Democracy, Public Policy and the Role of the Voluntary Organizations, Abigail Exelby. With the thesis titled, The Bible in a Digital Era, an investigation into prosumer reception of the Bible in digital culture, Rebecca Hansen. That concludes the presentation of the awards.
It is always a challenge to quickly summarize the life and accomplishments of someone receiving an honorary degree. But it's even more daunting when that person's accomplishments are rooted in their incredible ability to recount their remarkable life. David Sedaris is an award-winning author, playwright, radio presenter, and public speaker. After growing up in North Carolina, he lived in Chicago, New York, Paris, and Amberley. His New York Times bestselling books include, but are not limited to, Me Talk Pretty One Day, Dress Your Family in Corduroy and Denim, When You Are Engulfed in Flames, and Let's Explore Diabetes with Owls. There are over 16 million copies of his books in print. That's 2 per person in the city of London for a sense of scale. And they're available in 32 languages. He has filled theaters around the world, from the Royal Festival Hall to Carnegie Hall. His short story, COG, was adapted into a feature film. He has received many awards. In 2001, he was Time Magazine's Humorist of the Year. He's been awarded the Jonathan Swift International Literature Prize for Satire and Humor, and has been nominated for 5 Grammy Awards for Best Spoken Word and Best Comedy Album. Closer to home, residents of West Sussex not familiar with his work on This American Life, first as a radio show and then as a podcast, or the BBC program he hosts, may have heard of his efforts at combating litter in the South Downs. I think his piece discussing his obsession with walking and litter picking may be the only reference to West Sussex to appear in the pages of the New Yorker magazine. Now, as is probably obvious by this point, a comprehensive account of David's accomplishments and awards would take more time than we have. His contributions to literature and arts are more than warrant an honorary degree. But there are 2 aspects of his work that particularly resonate with the ethos of our university. First, he is, in the words of a Guardian headline, an icon of indignation. Like many Americans of my generation, I first encountered David's work as a voice on NPR, National Public Radio, sort of our BBC4. His stories of growing up and his observations about the bizarre aspects of life that we just readily accept were unlike anything else on the radio. Especially in those early pre-internet days, millions of alienated misfits around America suddenly had a model of how to navigate life with humor and humanity. Second, David's writing is somehow deceptively sincere without ever slipping into sentimentality. When you read or listen to his work on family, love, sexuality, tragedy, work, or friendship, it is easy to find yourself crying with laughter, only to suddenly find yourself genuinely moved to tears. One way we might describe the University of Chichester's approach to education in creative writing, literature, history, politics, international relations, theology, philosophy, and social work is that we are hoping that students are able to look at the world in all of its beauty and with all of its challenges and to find their way in that reality. David's life and writings are an example of how to do just that. For these reasons and many more, Chair of Governors, I present to you David Sedaris for the award of the degree of Honorary Doctor of Literature.
I confer upon you the Honorary Doctor of Literature of the University of Chichester. Congratulations.
Goodness, that's so kind of you. Thank you so much. I just have a little something I was going to read here. A little thank you. This is quite an honor for someone who went to art school and has taken all of 4 creative writing classes. 5 if you count the month-long one I took at the YMCA after moving to New York City in 1990. It was called Writing Funny, and I signed up because I liked the teacher, a British woman named Frida Garmez. Also, I was lonely and thought this would be a good way to meet people, and it was. One of my classmates, a guy named Mark, I still hang out with some 35 years later, The other was a woman named Marge who had gum disease and died of cancer last year. I mention her gums because I have trouble with my own as well. The difference between me and Marge is that she disregarded her periodontist's advice. He's just making it up as he goes along, she told me over drinks one night, back when I was still drinking. He just wants to squeeze money out of me. 30% of adults have gum disease, and through no fault of their own. For whatever reason, their saliva generates more plaque than most people's. This can work its way beneath their gums and lead to bone loss, which can eventually cause their teeth to fall out. Ick, you're thinking, to which I say, yeah, I know. I've been seeing a periodontist regularly for 25 years. First, a man in Paris named Dr. Geeg, and now a Greek woman in New York. 2 or 3 times a year, Dr. Kougentakis digs beneath my gum line with an electric hook, followed by a regular one. It's just as bad as it sounds. But I like how cheerful she is, and afterwards, my mouth full of blood, I feel super clean. Marge quit going to her periodontist, walked out in a huff. The last time I saw her, she'd lost all her teeth and was wearing dentures, which were too white for her skin tone and bulky, like cow's teeth. I pretended not to notice, and when she brought it up, I said, "Really? Those are fake? I'd have never have known it if you hadn't said anything." I liked Marge, but the story she presented at the YMCA had been written 2 years earlier for another adult education class. After writing Funny ended, she dragged it to yet another workshop, and another after that. And the thing is, it just wasn't worth all that scrutiny. It wasn't terrible, but if you're hoping to make it as a writer, you have to, well, write. Finish a story, learn from it, and then start another, better one. Over the years, I've met a number of people like Marge, aspiring authors who turn out maybe 8 pages a year. It's like I was with my sculptures in art school, afraid to make something new because it might not be as good as my last thing. For whatever reason, I was able to take more chances with my writing. I mean, it's all kind of the same. I'm not working on a biography of Churchill or even a novel with a dog in it named Churchill. But I'm always working and taking care of my gums. Thus, here I am, receiving an honorary doctorate in literature from your fine university, and smiling. Thank you.
David, that was absolutely brilliant, in a great Greek style, and as a fellow Greek, I must say that was brilliant. And I think I'm also very much aware about Greek dentists. So there you go. Thank you so much. That was brilliant. Just a couple of things from me now, and I'm going to go to the formal part first before I move into 2 other things that I would like to mention. So, through the authority given to the university by the Privy Council and the power vested in me as the Vice-Chancellor by the Academic Board of the university, I declare that those persons who are listed in the graduation program, who present themselves here at this ceremony, and who accept their awards in absentia, are deserving of the awards that have been made to them, having achieved them by due and approved process. Huge congratulations to you. Now, graduates, many people have played a part in your success, supporting you along the way, and most of them are sitting here in the front. So, in a moment, on a count of 3, I'd like you to put your hands together and show your appreciation for the friends, family, and staff members who have been part of this journey for you. Please do be as unrestrained, enthusiastic, and loud as you wish. So, in a count of 3, please show your appreciation. 1, 2, 3. They might have put the work, but you were there to support. Don't you ever forget that. You played a huge part in this graduation today. So, I now declare that this ceremony is closed. Please remain standing, if you are able to, for the academic procession, and whilst the graduates leave the cathedral, as we all process out, please do applaud them as loudly as you wish. Thank you.